Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
So here's what's going on. So tonight, as I mentioned, Congress passed the stimulus package finally, and it's a very good thing. For those of you who are investors, I want you guys to know there's a guy in Chicago, and I'm going to do a video about him tomorrow because I just respect the guy. His name is John Rogers. Remember that name, John Rogers, R-O-G-E-R-S. And I met John Rogers at an event at Father Michael Flager's church. Father Michael Flager is a white dude who really is extra black and extra cool and extra extraordinary. And anyway, Father Flager had this event, and Cornel West came there to speak, and I went there to go see Dr. West because I've known him for a while, and I just love that man a lot. And John Rogers was there. And that gave him some cool points in my mind, and I really liked the guy. You know, I went to his office. We sat down and talked for a few minutes about maybe 8 years ago, and that was it. But one of the things that Rogers said that I really admired was he brought up the fact that black people, that a lot of black wealth was lost in the 2007-2008 crash, because you know when something bad happens financially in the markets, we tend to run away. We tend to run away because it confirms our previous existing fear of investing. Like, it's like, oh my God, it's going, you know, it's the world's coming to an end. Doomsday conspiracy theories start kicking in our head, and we start running away. And he said we lost probably a couple $1 trillion in black wealth by walking away from the stock market because you walked out right when the party got good. You know, you walked out right before, you know, like you were waiting for the party to happen, and the party started a little bit slow, and you left the party, and then everybody had a great time after you left. And so what he's saying is that he doesn't want black people to miss out on the second financial party. And one thing that John Rogers mentioned is that this is a once-in-a-lifetime buying opportunity. He said this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to buy stocks. Those are his exact words. He says, let's see here. He says, I think that this is maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to buy stocks at bargain prices. Let's see here. He said, but when there's maximum pessimism, which is how some view the current market outlook amid the wave of selling, he said that's when you buy. He said you buy when pessimism is high. Right now, pessimism is as low as it's ever been. And John Rogers is a billionaire, so he knows what he's talking about. He says, we've been around 37 years at Ariel, and I know I said that once in a lifetime chance to buy in 87. And he said, I said it again in 2008. But I do really think this is an opportunity to take advantage of the volatility and take advantage of the market. So John Rogers does not say this all the time. He says it about once every 20 years. Well, actually, he said in 87, said it again in 2008, which was 21 years later. And now he's saying it again now. So this is what John Rogers is saying. He's saying buy, buy, buy. And this is something that I've been sort of mentioning this week to you guys, that, you know, I don't see any reason why a smart investor wouldn't jump into this market. So if you want to know more about stock market investing, or you want to see exactly like which stocks I'm buying, some of you ask exactly which stocks I'm buying. I actually have a section in my stock market program, so feel free to check it out. You can try it out for 30 days for $1. $1 for the first 30 days. It's theblackstockmarketprogram.com, THE, that's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. So let me read to you a little bit about the stimulus thing. Hit the thumbs up button, and I'll read some of this in terms of knowing how you can qualify for your stimulus check. This is how you know how to get your money, stuff like that, because I know a lot of you are looking forward to getting your money, and they are really writing checks to people. Like, this is real. This is not just white people stuff. Like, this is like actually going to affect you. The Trump administration and senators voted unanimously to pass a $2 trillion stimulus deal that would cut checks of $1,200 to many adults. It would also expand unemployment insurance payments and extend loans to businesses in an all-out effort to combat the coronavirus's toll on the economy. The Senate voted late Wednesday to pass the bill. Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, has also pledged to quickly pass the measure in the House. The bill would allocate $350 billion to loans to small businesses. So if you have a small business, you look into, I'm going to do some research on it. I spoke with my accountants about this stuff to see what was out there. And I know that the Small Business Administration is doing webinars now with accountants on how to get access to these loans. If you don't have an accountant for your small business, you probably want to get one because you need your books to be straight, so because they're probably going to want to see balance sheets or bank statements, things like that. So just get you an accountant to get your book straight. If you don't have a business, then you are supposed to get a check for $1,200. Also, they're talking about really generous unemployment insurance. For example, there was one senator that wanted to limit the amount of unemployment insurance that you got every week to the amount that you make, to the amount you make on your job. He was like, we shouldn't give people $600 a week if they didn't make $600 a week. And he got voted down. They passed. They said no, we're going to give everybody the same amount. So let me keep going. So $350 billion in loans to small businesses. So most of this money is loans, not grants, but loans are good. Liquidity. What they're doing is they're providing you with liquidity. Liquidity is what you need to make an economy move. It's like if you have a little cousin who lost his job, and he says, I can make money, over at the bakery, but I need gas money to get to the bakery, and I don't have a car. Well, you may not have to actually give him a car. You could loan him your car, right? Or you can loan him gas money, right? And say, pay me back when you go make the money. So that's kind of what this is doing. They're loaning you gas money so that you can keep your business going, so that you don't end up going out of business or letting go of all your team members, or having to get evicted or losing your house because you don't have enough cash on you right now. A lot of times, financial problems can be temporary, where you just need somebody to let you hold something until you can get money back. So with the businesses, they're putting out $350 billion to let them hold something. So when they say that a stimulus package is like $2 trillion or whatever, this is not just a big grant. It's not a big bunch of money they're giving away. A lot of times they're just loans. It's just liquidity so that people can just keep functioning, so they don't have to fire everybody because the bills are due on Friday. So let me keep going. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. And by the way, make sure you follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram, and also the Black Business School, the Real Black Business School. And I'm the real Boyce Watkins. So if you go to the Real Black Business School, you can get a lot of good financial information on Instagram, and also the Black Financial Channel. All right, so let's see here. So it gives $100 billion to help hospitals that are either struggling to cope with the influx of patients. The government will also provide a $500 billion fund, which will include $46 billion for commercial airlines. Airlines got hit super hard because all of the traveling just died. I was supposed to fly a couple places, and I had to go to Orbitz and get a refund, and I couldn't even get through at first. And I didn't want to cancel my trips. We had a family trip, I had a business trip, I had to cancel everything, because nobody's flying, right? Among other industries, and $454 billion for the Federal Reserve to leverage businesses, states, and municipalities. Okay. So that's a little bit vague, but it is what it is. As for consumers, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin on Wednesday said that direct payments to many Americans under the stimulus bill will come within 3 weeks. So he's saying your money will get there within 3 weeks. They've mentioned repeatedly that they want the cash to go out fast. If you have a business, from what I understand, they also want the banks to be able to loan money out quickly. And so that's a good thing. Like I've even heard, I think the money coach Lynette Calfani mentioned on Twitter that she'd heard Mnuchin say that the goal was to make it so that the bank can just loan you the money and get you the money that day. And I said, oh, that sounds nice. That's great. All right. So let's see here. Taxpayers. So here, in terms of your income, if you make below $75,000 as an individual, you will get a check for $1,200 according to the government. Married couples making $150,000 and below will receive $2,400. Individuals and couples under this earnings cap would also receive $500 for every child. So those little badass kids that get on your nerves, maybe you should go give them a kiss and a hug, because they just put $500 in your pocket per child. For the vast majority of Americans, no action on their part will be required in order to receive a rebate check. So they're saying they're trying to cut the red tape. And that's what they have to do. They have to get money into the pockets of consumers quickly, which would generate spending and investment in the economy, which would sort of get the engine going again. And also, they're really trying to work on you psychologically. Like, they spent all this time breaking you down. Now they're trying to build you back up. Like, they spent all this time scaring the shit out of you. Now they want you to be confident again, because consumer confidence drives everything. Investor confidence drives everything. So the reason that my boy John Rogers is saying you should invest is because right now investor confidence has dropped, pessimism has dropped, And also people are not just selling their stocks because they're scared. They're selling their stocks because they have to, because they need cash over here, or they're buying on margin and they have to sell, whatever. So let's see here. The money does not count as taxable income. That's good too. So this is not taxable income. A Republican Finance Committee aide also said that people filing as head of household on their taxes, meaning they are unmarried, have children or dependents, and pay more than half of the household expenses will get the $1,200 check if they're making below $112,000. The earnings threshold is measured by adjusted gross income. That is gross income minus any deductions that you have. So that means if you do own a business, which is why I tell you guys, I believe every Black family should have a family business. Chances are, you get these tremendous write-offs as a business owner. And so those write-offs are better actually than the write-offs you get from owning a house. So that's one of the reasons why I believe deeply that every Black family should have a family business. You fill out the LLC, you can start writing things off, and you can get together as a family and do family stuff. But as long as you're about your business and you're doing family business together, you get it pretty much life on a discount. You can write off a lot of things that other people can't write off. Doesn't mean that you cheat. Doesn't mean you evade taxes. You should never evade taxes. But it's okay to avoid paying taxes if you don't have to. Doesn't mean, but you don't do anything illegal. That is not good. So let's see. The billionaire investor said he used the influx of cash. Wait, scratch that. Oops. Let me go back here. Here we go. Those receiving Social Security benefits will be eligible. According to analysis of the bill from Senator Charles Grassley, a Republican from Iowa, green card holders, in addition to citizens, qualify for the check. The checks phase out for incomes above $75,000 a year. That's capped for individuals making above $99,000 a year. So it looks like if you get to the $99,000 a year mark as an individual, then you don't get any money because they're saying that you should be good. And I don't disagree with that. I think if you're making over $100,000 a year as an individual, or $198,000 a year as a couple, I'm not making fun of anybody, but you should have been saving, you should have been investing, you should have financial security, you should have a backup plan. So the only people that it looks like are not going to really make out like potential gangbusters on this bill are going to be people that have a high income but have no write-offs. So those of you, and that's why I tell you, be very careful if you are, I don't know how many of you, raise your hand, how many of you in here are like me in that, or what they call the educated Negro class? How many educated Negroes we got in here that went to got an MBA, got a law degree, went to medical school, got a PhD, and got a ton of student loan debt, and you're making good money, but yet, and it's so you're doing good, right? Like you're the successful one in your family, maybe you're first generation college student, things like that. And that's really cool. I'm in that category. I was in that category, but and there's opportunities there. It's really great. Like, especially when white people are nice to you and they offer you great jobs, it's really cool. The downside of being in that category is that you're rewarded by the system, but you're exceedingly dependent on the system. If they start cutting those jobs, those high paying jobs that they're paying you all that money, then you're kind of stuck. Also, you can get trapped in what I call keeping up with the Joneses, where, because you went to Harvard and you got a law degree, you have to drive a certain car. You have to live in a certain neighborhood. You got to dress a certain way. Your relatives are calling you. I don't know if anybody else is the one that their family members always call when there's a financial crisis. They call you in the middle of the night to borrow money. There was a point when I used to take those calls. I used to get 5 to 10 calls a week for people borrowing money from me. And then eventually I just stopped. I just started saying, no, I'm cutting you off. So I've had to do that even with friends, and they get really, really mad. They cuss you out and everything else. But I said, no, I can't do this no more. Right. So you're in that category. And the problem is that you're good at surviving in a specific system, but you're heavily dependent on that system. So you're really in a risky situation. And also because you have to maintain a certain appearance and a certain lifestyle, or you've been pressured to do that. And and I forgot, you're also dealing with maybe a couple $100,000 in student loan debt. You're just in a real vulnerable financial situation. You got massive amounts of debt. You have very high expenses. You don't have any write-offs, because nobody ever really took you to the side and said, okay, you're a medical doctor, here's how you start your own practice. Or you're a lawyer, here's how you start your own firm, right? Nobody said that. You're not, people in that category don't really typically know how to run businesses. And then the last piece is the high expenses, high debt, low skill, and heavy dependence on the system. And there was one more thing I was going to throw in there, but I forgot what it was. But anyway, you get the point. So really, to me, if you're in that category, what you probably want to do is go ahead and take one more class on how to start a business and start you an LLC. maybe learn how to make money from your talent that allows you to make money outside of, that economic system that you're tied to, that you're tethered to. Because if you're not careful, you can end up like this lady. There's a lady who has a really viral TED Talk, and it's a Black lady. And it's funny. I saw the title of her TED Talk and I knew she would be Black. And the title of the TED Talk is, I have an MBA from Harvard and I'm unemployed and bankrupt, or something like that. It's something like that, right? And she has an MBA from Harvard. And she would talk about going out, on these fancy dinners with her friends, dressed, really nicely, and, presenting the image of a Harvard graduate. But she would have no money in her bank account, no money in her purse, and be deep in debt. And basically, I understood that when I saw it, and I knew that she was probably Black because I've seen it happen a lot. I have a lot of friends that end up in that category. In fact, when I'm out talking, the stuff that I talk about Black people building our own nation, building our Black Wall Street, all that, the people that tend to gravitate toward that message are not the educated Negroes like me, the ones who have the MBAs, PhDs, JDs, and engineering degrees. It's usually the people who, dropped out of college, or it's the truck driver, who knows how to work hard for a living, or it's the veteran who understands, what it means to solve a problem and to execute on a mission, right? It's the people with fundamental values where they grew up in a household built on personal responsibility or building the family business, or it's the people that don't really trust that white people are going to take care of them forever, and so that's why, for example, as much strength and power and reach that our platform has obtained, we've obtained that outside of the mainstream. We're not here to be mainstream Negroes because I don't believe in that. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe that the people that, the guy that went to Brown University who's, writing articles for a living, for the Root or whatever, I don't think that he's the most empowered individual out here. I think that the empowered people are the ones who are the builders. So that's what I'm seeing here. So with the stimulus, when I really look at it and break it down, it looks like the key areas they're trying to hit, the key touch points they're hitting with this bill is they're hitting working class Americans and just writing them a check. They're hitting senior citizens, the unemployed extensively so that they can have money to spend. They're hitting business owners so they can have money available so that they will be able to, so they can keep their employees, gainfully employed. And the high income people, so if you're high income and you don't have good saving and investing habits, and so you don't have any assets and you don't have any write-offs, and you have a ton of debt, I feel like people in that category are kind of left out of this because they're like, look, you make $180,000 a year. You don't need any stimulus at all. Whereas I do know people that are in that income category who don't have a lot of job security or under a lot of stress and are very low on cash flow who could actually use help. So anyway, that's my analysis of it. That's me breaking it down. I hope I didn't drag that on too much, but I wanted to make that point. So let me see if there's any points I didn't make here. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. And make sure you subscribe to the Black Financial Channel. And I want to remind you guys, speaking of building, you guys know that we're building a Black Hollywood. We're building our own movie industry. And so we're doing Black Movie Night on April 2nd. We're going to show a film called Raising a Black Scholar. And this is a film we made, and it's all about the Black homeschool movement of how many thousands and thousands of Black families across this country are starting to remove their children from the racist educational system. So they're not complaining about it. They're not sitting around saying, oh, these white people ain't doing right by my kids. They're just taking their kids out because they went back to the basics. The basics say that a Black child should be educated by a Black person, preferably their mother or their father. And so they brought the kids home and they're educating them using whether it's homeschool networks, standardized curriculums, or some of them are just educating their kids on YouTube. I've seen kids educated on YouTube better than they're educated in the school system. So so that's what that next Black Movie Night's all about. So if you'd like to join us, go to blackmovienight.net. You can register and join for free. It's blackmovienight.net. On each date, there's a register here button. So you can hit the registration button, sign up, and join us. And you can see what we got going on over there. All right, so last piece they said is that the IRS is going to transmit payment via direct deposit. So it's going to use bank account information from your 2018 or 2019 tax return. Tax season for the 2019 return is open until July 15th. The Treasury Department pushed back the income tax payment and filing deadlines from April 15th to July 15th to free up cash for individuals that individuals and businesses might need right now. It looks like stocks shot up. Stocks shot up today and Tuesday and Wednesday, excuse me, because of the expectation of the bill. And it looks like tomorrow is expected to be a good day if Congress acts right and does what they're supposed to do. And again, John Rogers, the black billionaire out of Chicago, is saying that this is the arguably a buying opportunity of a lifetime. So you may want to take a look at stocks. And if you want to learn more about stock market investing, we're really good at it here in the Black Business School. You could go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com. The first month costs you $1. There's a 30-day 100% money back guarantee. And at the very bottom of the curriculum section, there's a section called What Dr. Boyce is Buying. So you can I literally tell you every single thing I'm buying and exactly why. And in fact, I'll do another video for that tonight. So I'll put that down at the bottom. So it's theblackstockmarketprogram.com. Somebody please type that in. So, and also if you have kids at home and you want your kids to learn about wealth, we do have these financial workbooks for children. We cover every grade level. So if you have kids and you're looking for something for them to do, we're really proud of these workbooks. We created them just for black kids, and we used a committee of black educators to put these together because one of our other core values is that we believe in educating our own kids all the way around, not just keeping them with us, but also developing the materials necessary to get it done. So feel free to go to financialworkbooks.com. It's financialworkbooks.com. So we got a lot of stuff going on. And I mentioned that stuff to you guys because we're not just here to complain about white people. We're actually here to solve problems. So take care, guys. Have a good night. And I hope that this information was helpful. And what if you didn't sign up for direct deposit on your IRS return? That one I don't know. You may have to go file. I'll go find a place where you can go and we can go and apply if you haven't filled out or the direct deposit slip for your last tax return. Yeah, I got to look into that. I got to ask my accountant about that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good night, and it was good talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you soon. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.